Welcome to the Saturday Top-Up as forecast. And I was a bit of an unbeliever, but at 4 a.m. It started raining, Glenn, and only 2 mils, but enough to send us backwards this
the
morning.
streets were wet round here, and I live up the road, down the road. So
yeah, the penetrometer went back to 6.16. So I think that warm weather, unfortunately, warm weather does often precede a bit of a rain band. So the good work of Thursday and Friday has been undone with shower rain this morning. 32 scratchings. Interestingly, none of our quaddy selections got scratched, Glenn.
Oh well, it didn't ring a bell with me.
That's because we know the ones that are good chances.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, let's get cracking on this on this card.
Well, I said 6 horses down, didn't have hope, but after number 8, they scratched 4 of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So race 1, a bit of resistance to this favourite, Glenn. 9,000 matched early doors, Travest. I suppose a little bit of the sting's gone out of the race. I mean, not much speed. Radiance has come out of sort of a forward position on the map, but it's pretty much as you were. I suppose there will be layers here because this horse is going to be trying to round them up, isn't it?
Yeah, but you look next to his name there. It says barrier 13, but it just sits up perfectly in barrier 8 on the outside of 8 runners, and he can, he's got plenty of options. Young Berry.
Any late thoughts here, Gord?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the downgrading of the track for the favourite, but I still just don't want to be with it. I don't think it's proven enough. But looking at those Betfair prices there, if it got out to 2 to 1, I could entertain it.
Yeah.
Just quickly looking at those Betfair prices, I don't like Ferretti, but if it did get to $10, I think it's just a bet, and I'd expect to lose. But $10 seems wrong. I
will back it at $10 just from a map perspective and fitness on a wet track.
Absolutely.
And I believe you're going to be pressing the lay button hard on Tajori, Glenn.
Yeah, I don't expect it to figure, and I'm hoping to lay it shorter on the run as well.
Yeah, and the 600 wanted there at 16 and 17 Bazooka, which I guess you're giving none to as well.
I don't like it in this race, but yeah, I don't like it in this race. Yeah.
All right, race 2 is the highway. We only lost number 1, which I'll just bring this up here and extend this down.
Left us with a full field.
Yeah. That's right. The movers in the race are a little bit of money for Chazelles, a little bit of money for Bad Boy for Love, and my tip, Scara Bray, has had a little bit of support as well.
It's funny. I think yesterday on the show we said I rubber stamped field the night 5 to 1 favourite. There it is, 620, 640.
Yeah, well, it's
we can find an SP. Wish we could find more winners.
Funny thing is that ratings to win on that particular stable change has no change. You think, the Longmires to Matthew Dale, that's a big change. Feels like a big change, but the ratings to win ratings actually have no change. That's just reflecting that Matthew Dale's perhaps not going as well as he has in the past.
Oh, you mean no positive or no negative?
No,
okay.
But I mean intuitively.
When you were saying no change, I thought you meant it stayed at the same stable. But now I'm with you. Right. It's early, man.
I'm doing a good job of confusing you, aren't I?
Oh, fucking what?
Anyway, it's a highway, and on Monday, I presume we'll cover this and go. What the hell are we doing highways for? Nonetheless, it's there to bet.
A million different bets you could have there. I've got to say that.
It is a race. Race 3.
I'll just mention something on that highway, Mark, and that is I'm actually a little bit keener on Talus now because I think a few of the dangers are going to be first up on this heavy 9, which is okay for me. So I've pushed out Chazelle and Feel the Night and actually firmed Talus up because it's got the fitness advantage on the heavy 9.
That's good analysis, Gord. Talus is certainly rock hard and gets his best ever chance to win a highway, even though he's been thereabouts. Race 3, a little bit of money for Hulk. Let's see what there's 3,500 matched on Talure at the moment, and you can have 290, Glenn.
Jeez, 290 seems fair, guys.
Gord, are you a little bit weaker on Talure given the downgrade?
Yes. I do think it is good enough with that very low weight to still get the job done. But yeah, the only question mark about it is if first up, blue colours, you know, they're not normally rock hard fit, and this could be a very testing track. That's the negative. The positive is I think it's the best horse by lengths.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they how she handles two rock hard horses. I mean, Switched has lost a little bit of the speed of the race, so that helps her, and she's back from 1200. I mean, I'd suggest she's probably better at 1100. I realise that form line looks a touch naff. And Hulk, of course, J-Mac, blinkers back on, back to the distance of his winning first up, and with a bit of experience on Randwick. I think, you know, both of them coming out of yucky races, but both of them have assets that the favourite doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Race 4, and Mr. Dependable is into a shade of odds on with fixed. See if there's... it's well and truly black on the fair with 2,500 matched. I suppose there was a horse that I gave very little chance to, Milkman, come out of this race, which is always a shame, isn't it, Glenn?
Oh, it's annoying. What's more annoying is when they come out behind the barriers. Oh, fuck. You've got to pay
Everyone
the
hates that. I remember
Oh.
Colagiuri running around going, can you believe this? The only horse I gave none to, they've scratched.
Yes, it is devastating.
Torture. Look, because then you're paying the deduction as well. And then also the speed shape you've got in your head might be different too.
Yeah. It's just one of those foibles of racing, isn't it? That
Well, you can't send them all back to the yard and, you know, put the race back in there, can we?
No. What are we saying about Mr. Dependable from the point of view of this morning, Gord?
Still confident.
What would win?
Well, if he finds a way to lose this one, then he's probably going to get life, isn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, Glenn probably already knows. What kind of type is it, Glenn? Is it?
It ticks all the boxes that you need for today.
On the wet, yeah.
Yep, ticks all the boxes. It's a 3 or 4 length job, isn't it?
Oh, I hope so.
I don't think he'll be that stressed, and even in the run, good.
Yeah.
All right, the other short course race, and Space Boy has been a firmer, 480 into 370 fixed odds. Lashes is certainly a lot longer than she was when we discussed the race yesterday, because there is a chance that she's got a flat tyre, isn't there? I mean, obviously, the connections of Lashes, who we know very well and wish them all very well, they would be thinking, well, this is as good as you're going to get. It's been freshened up. It's back to 1,000. I'd say the 1,000's not a problem. It's really just about how well it's going, isn't it?
Yeah, whether it'll pick up and go after Space Boy.
Yeah.
Which, there's no reason it can't. Yeah. I don't think it's got a flat tyre. It's only had a couple of runs.
Flat tyre in relation to, like, it had a real spring in its step last preparation when it resumed, and, you know, like picked them up in a stride at Kenzo, and then handled them easily at Rose Hill, and obviously it went into some harder races over 1,200.
It's Space Boy there, guys, and I think it's a fair price for $24.40 if we get matched, which I think we will.
I'd suggest Lashes is going to get to a backable price as well, and I'm going to hedge on Lashes now.
I can see that too, cool.
Yeah, well, she certainly does. As I say, she certainly.
It's hard to like any other runner. That's the problem with the race.
Well,
yeah, they're the two. Yeah, it's just Lashes and Space Boy.
Longbottom looks very flat and loses J-Mac. I mean, not that Jay Collett's are going to do a bad job on it, but I mean, J-Mac is the preeminent lifter, makes things happen, certainly at the moment. Yeah,
he got 3 weeks down to 1 week. He's handled his life like a freak. Did you see that, Mark?
Yes, I did. The 2,400.
That's fair. I don't have such a problem with the punishment now.
It looks like, you know, you had a bit of a brain fade in that you know, once your horse did start to pick up again, you'd given up by that stage. Which, I mean, he'd given up for a good reason, but at the same time, he's supposed to punch him out. Yeah, punch them out, exactly.
So I thought 3 was tough and 1's fair. So good on you, stewards.
It wasn't the stewards.
Oh, who was it?
It's the appeals panel.
They're on the appeal. The stewards just sitting on it.
They don't get to do that, God. Yeah, it's like, you know, when they find us $3 million for cracking a joke, we'll go to the appeals panel, they'll make it $25 and we'll walk out laughing.
Yes. Hopefully.
All right, the 3 mile bike race, 2,400 metres, race 6 on the card. Money for Elaborate, money for Desert Path, who we, of course, mentioned on the show yesterday is Waller's kitchen sink job here. True Marvel remains solid. And I can't see any interest in the Archie Alexander Tigre Royale there.
Yeah, I noticed that there, Mark, as we speak. Yeah, not much at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's been bashing around, but he's got quite a good win record. He looks the sort of horse that'll give you a good side in this race. He of course is one of our three first leg of the quaddie selections.
Yeah, I think with number 6, he's also the punters just want to let the market sit, and they can't really work out the SP yet. You know, they don't want to take like. If
I know what you
when
mean.
he might start, just a bit like the hurdler last week. And I said to you, I said, how do you price this horse? If you can't price him, it's hard to buy him.
Certainly early. And you are better off waiting. The 1,400 metre fillies and mares race. Well, this Betfair market is belying what supposedly happened on the fixed. Outback Diva, the firmer on the fixed, which surprised me. And of course, there she is, large as life, almost double the fixed price there on the fair with 2,000 matched early. It's a bit of a dog's breakfast, isn't it, Glenn?
Yeah, it looks a bit of a dog's breakfast and a tricky race. I see the bottom one's quite firm, mate.
Yeah, which, you're thinking she probably has to sit outside Spanish Dream, which is not a tick, is it?
Well, I tipped it on the show a little bit yesterday as my second pick, but I did envisage like $11 or $13.
Yeah, and it's not there yet. That's just a scuzzy early look there. Gordon,
but a scuzzy early look can determine SP. I'd say it looks like to me it's going to SP around 750, which I wouldn't be a bet for me.
Yeah, Gord, have you got any insight into this race? I think
unlikely. I bet in the race with there being just far too many chances and difficult to line them all up. The only bet I could entertain for a little bit of fun if it got to the right price is number 9, 3U.
Yeah, and I guess track pattern will determine that as well. We'll have a fair read on the track pattern by this stage. It's race 7. The penultimate.
I think you can throw something number 6 there at big odds too, Gord, especially if I send out in the 4 numbers.
Yeah, it just ticks that first up on a heavy track. Sorry, crosses all. That's not a positive.
But it is a roughie, I suppose. And it is a stayer. It's remember Glenn, it was one of our early doors plays, wasn't it? The 1,400 metre resuming stayers.
We used to love it.
Okay, the penultimate handspun is quite solid here, and I just didn't see the virtue in handspun here, particularly away from Rose Hill, where it's got a little bit more pickup. It doesn't strike me as being the sort of horse that lets down on particularly wet ground, Glenn.
I'd agree with that, Mike. Yeah. I don't feel like it's a bet anywhere with that run. Yeah,
I can see that there'll be sort of money.
This was a race I had no pick yesterday, and not much has changed overnight.
No, I imagine if the inside is playing okay, that this sort of race where the Cuban Royale will start very hard in the market. An honest battler that overachieves, not really a Saturday horse, but in this type of race is alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Gord, would you prefer Rari on a drier surface, on a better surface?
Yes, because of the only one start this preparation and the 3-week freshen up. But I'm in a race where I think there's only 3 chances, which is Rari, Handspun, and Crystal Breeze, and I'm quite happy to still stick with Rari. Particularly when you look at that heavy 9 run at Warwick Farm, it came second to a horse called Rubasaki by 1.5 lengths.
Who is that horse, Gord? Rubasaki, it's an Everest horse, isn't it?
Rubasaki will be running around $1.30 in this race. So I think I have to back Rari.
That long?
That long.
They are.
You reckon it'd be $1? It'd be Winks, would it? Dan? You reckon $1.10?
It's a big short, Good for sure. I'm being tongue in cheek, but
and we come to the last where we're now looking at 2-1 a pair. Agassi and Big Boy Roy. It's a gala, isn't it? We've got 7 runners to go round, and I suppose it is what it is, isn't it?
It's just what it is, and I'm hoping I'm not looking for a bet to try and get out. I can promise.
Yeah,
not that you should try and get out.
The horse that you were mentioning, wasn't it better off in the fuller field, Glenn? Travancore and a sort of a better surface as well.
And better the price.
Better price. Gord, I think I suggested yesterday that Big Boy Roy might take no prisoners here, which I think would be the suitable play here, 4th up into this race.
Yeah, this I will only bet in this race if there's a considerable track bias or pattern established. Big Boy Roy, with its convictions of not winning, just isn't a horse you can take 2 to 1 about.
I know he's got those 1.5 wins at Canterbury night.
Yeah. So what am I going to do here? I don't want to bet against him, and I sure can't take that price with the amount of convictions he's got. So. Even with a pattern established, I might find it very difficult to get a bet in this race. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Hopefully, you've got the quaddie going 5 times live, and you can just sit back and enjoy the last leg.
Yeah, and have a bit of fun. Yeah.
Shits and giggles, good.
Yeah.
Shits and giggles.
All right. Well, that's
a 10,000.
That's a top up of the Randwick card. I'll be up there in about an hour's time, or that's irrelevant to you because you watch this show whenever you watch it. But don't forget that at Racing Rant, if you aren't a subscriber, you should be, because you get the first 2 weeks free. You get you get 5 videos a week, and if you're a gold member, you get even more. You get my sets, you get Mounting Yard Mail, you get a hard copy, you get Jeff's 2-year-old pedigree assessments, and you get access to the chat room, which has proven a gold mine for those in there. And I think, Gord, the best thing about the chat room is some of the people that have risen to the surface in there that are well, you know, they're set to replace us on the show, really.
Well, what's amazing about it is obviously you've got your pros that have been pros for years, being very generous on there with their information, but there's guys you've never heard of that you know, everybody's realised now have like a great grasp of the form and are really good at their analysis. So that great blend of the people you've never heard of but have a lot of ability, and then the hardened pros who are in there. So it's a lovely environment.
Yeah,
What a great asset. What a beauty.
It's all right. We've got access to people that we never would have had access to otherwise. So, look, be part of Racing Rant, because you'd be mad not to. And as I say, the first 2 weeks are free, so you don't even have to pay to try it out. So we hope to see you soon.
Right. Best of luck, everyone. Good punting.
See you guys. Talk to you soon, Glenn.